Thank you, girl.
Okay.
This is the tandoori chicken from the new Taj Palace. He cooks it perfect. Okay, so actually, is there more light in here? Off. Just for special effect. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of In the ER with Dr. Moses and ER Tech Brad.
How's it going?
So today I've got a question for you, Brad.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen a patient actively having a heart attack?
Many times.
Let me just ask you kind of a quick question. What do they usually look like?
Diaphoretic, sweating,
Diaphoretic.
shortness of breath,
Okay.
weak,
Okay.
sometimes vomiting,
Oh,
nauseous,
okay.
dizzy,
Very good.
pain to the arm, left arm specifically.
Now, for all of those people out there that are curious, what is a heart attack?
Well, simply put, as a tech, we kind of have to anticipate the needs of the doctor and the nurses and the patient around us. So simply put, a heart attack is the decreased flow of blood and oxygen to the coronary arteries, which supply the muscle of the heart with oxygen and blood.
Correct. Let me add a little 2 cents to that. Let's go over here. So, when your heart is pumping blood, you can go over here. When your heart is pumping blood, the blood is pumping, Chris. You gotta be able to see this. Your blood has to pump from your heart into 2 little tiny arteries. I'll have to find a diagram and show it to you later. That actually pump the blood to the heart itself. One artery goes to the right side of the heart, and the other artery goes to the left side of the heart. The most common artery that gets clogged is the one on the left side. So imagine that the blood is flowing through your left coronary artery into the muscle of your heart, like this. A heart attack is when the blood, which carries oxygen, oh, that's the wrong way. It's when the blood that carries the oxygen stops flowing to that spot. So when blood stops flowing to whichever part of the heart that is, left side, right side, top side, bottom side, the part where the blood is not going starts to die. And you will start to feel chest pain, shortness of breath, all of the common symptoms of a heart attack. And what we want to do as doctors and ER Tech and Brad and everybody else is, as soon as you come into the emergency room, we want to figure out that this is what happened. And then we want to do whatever we can to get the blood flowing again. Now, one thing that we talked about in a couple videos ago is that taking an aspirin makes a difference. I'll explain that soon. But for today, I just want you to know that a heart attack is when blood stops flowing to a part of your heart, and that part of your heart starts to die, or dies.
Okay, it's on.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul.
Hi, Paul.
He is one of my Indian brothers. Yes. And he's the owner of the new Taj restaurant here. And I just wanted to let you know, Paul, that your Indian coffee is delicious.
Thank you.
There's some secret here. I don't know what the secret is, but this is amazing coffee.
Yes, make it candy.
Yes, yes. Very coffee.
Okay,
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Paul.
so much.
Thank you
Nice
so
to
much.
meet you. Thanks for. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're still on.
The question is, what is a heart attack? And I'm going to draw you a very simplistic picture of what a heart attack is. Okay? So, your heart is kind of like this, has 4 chambers. Chamber number 1 is the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. The aorta goes off the heart, kind of like this. And there are two vessels, two arteries that go, one artery kind of goes to the right side of the heart. We're going to call this the right coronary artery. And one artery goes to the left side of the heart. This is not a true anatomic drawing, but if you want to, you can check my book for more accurate pictures. So blood that is pumped through the left ventricle goes into the left coronary artery. We're talking left coronary artery here because that's the most common one that gets blocked in a heart attack. Then the blood goes into the artery like this, and it flows into your body, into your heart, and does what it needs to do so that you stay alive. Okay? In the event of a heart attack, this is what happens. And this is one of the most common things that happens in the event of a heart attack. You have some kind of endothelial damage. I'll have to explain that later, but little damage areas of the heart will show themselves or will occur. As an area is damaged, platelets, which are like little cotton balls floating through the arterial system and the venous system, will snag and attach to this area. And as you can see, what's happening here is what I'm drawing is actually happening much, much slower than it happens in real life. So here you see that now this entire area has become clogged so that there is no blood, zero blood going to this part of the heart, the left ventricle. Again, this is one of the most common heart attacks that occurs. When no blood goes to an area of the heart, you will sense severe pain. You will sense severe pain. And that pain is the chest pain that we talked about. That pain is those symptoms of heart attack that we talked about in a prior video. So what can you do to keep that artery open as long as possible? Do you remember my video where I told you about taking the chewable aspirin? That's what the aspirin does. Aspirin actually helps to slow down the formation of this clot so that it doesn't clog up the artery so fast. And that is the secret of aspirin. We'll talk a little bit more about that again. But this, my dear friends, is a heart attack. And to further clarify, when blood stops flowing to this area dies. And a heart attack, also known as a myocardial infarction, is when a part of your heart dies. And that's very bad because as far as I know, I'm not really aware of any non-miraculous things that can bring a dead thing back to life.